finding an exact solution with no approximations whatsoever. So, because his equations were so complicated, he generally had to use approximations. But what if you could solve them exactly for a type of object? And what if that type of object actually kind of existed? So Schwarzschild did this for a case which was like a single point like star. And it so happens that it kind of worked out for something like a black hole. Although Schwarzschild was director of the Astrophysical Observatory in Potsdam, he volunteered to serve Germany on the Russian front. Remarkably, as a soldier dodging shells bursting overhead, he managed against all odds to work on physics. Not only did he calculate the trajectory of artillery shells for the German army, he also calculated the most elegant, exact solution of Einstein's equations. Wow. Today, this is called the Schwarzschild's solution. Unfortunately, he never lived long enough to enjoy the fame that his solution generated. One of the brightest stars emerging in this new field of relativity, Schwarzschild, died at the age of 42, just a few months after his papers were published, from a rare skin disease he picked up while fighting on the Russian front, a waste for the world of science. Einstein delivered a moving eulogy for Schwarzschild, whose death only reinforced Einstein's hatred of the senselessness of war. Oh, Baji. The Schwarzschild solution, which created quite a sensation in scientific circles, also had strange consequences. Schwarzschild found that extremely close to this point-like star, gravity was so intense that even light itself could not escape, so the star became invisible. This was a sticky problem not only for Einstein's theory of gravity, but also for the Newtonian theory. Back in 1783, John Michell, rector of Thornhill in England, posed the question whether a star could become so massive that even light could not escape. His calculations using only Newtonian laws could not be trusted because no one knew precisely what the speed of light was, but his conclusions were hard to dismiss. In principle, a star could become so massive that its light would orbit around it. 13 years later, in his famous book Exposition du Système du Monde, mathematician Pierre Simon Laplace also asked whether these dark stars were possible, but probably found the speculation so wild that he deleted it from the third edition. So these dark stars, quote unquote, are going to be black holes, and it's so interesting. People had kind of theorized about the possibility of their existence, but they do actually exist. And we found that centuries later. So, centuries later, the question of dark stars came up again, thanks to Schwarzschild. Now, because Schwarzschild worked with Einstein's equations and solved them for a point-like star, this question of dark stars, because if a star is point-like, as in it's very compact, well, is it going to be dark? Is it something that traps light, basically, where its light even just revolves around it? This whole physical reality of the dark stars and the black holes came about. Something that had been asked by people, beforehand, but the concept of dark star just seemed so, I don't know, so too extreme, I guess, and that's why people kind of abandoned it. But it came up again, and especially as Schwarzschild actually applied Einstein's equations to a point-like star and solved his equations exactly rather than with approximations, it was all kind of coming together. And, before you know it, we have more evidence and more knowledge about dark stars. So he found that there was a magic circle surrounding the star now called the event horizon, at which mind bending distortions of space time occur.